Are we live? Oh, we are live. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Something tells me you are so excited today because of Valentine's Day. How was it? Was it
I'm
everything?
so excited because it is the 15th and we are done. And we do not have to talk about it until another year.
Oh, I love it. Look, check it out. So shout out to my buddy, Mr. Benjamin Scales.
Oh,
He sent me
nice.
this shirt.
Very nice.
Marathon. Check out the back. Can you read that?
Yep. Finding dignity one step at a time. I love that.
Oh, so amazing. So no, I didn't run in this marathon. This was a gift from Mr. Benjamin Scales. He sent it to me and it's been sitting there and I hadn't opened it up and I'm like, oh crap, I got to open it. I said, how do I say thank you? Oh, I know how. I'll do it on the live stream. So anyways, that's my superpower underneath. Can you believe we got somebody already here? Oh, Mr. Jim, how you doing, sir?
Yes, he's an old timer. He's like been here since the beginning.
Since the beginning, yeah, for sure. And I know he's got the Breakthrough Builders event coming up in March.
Yes.
In the DFW, and I'm gonna be there.
Nice.
So what are we talking? What's this definitive versus non-committal? Is that what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about today. And so a little backstory is one you and I talk about these things all the time, but you and I actually both visited a job site. And one of our job sites, one of our leaders that that runs a pretty big project. Hashtag Josh Young, because he usually is on here and I'm going to give him a shout out. He has a list of words in his big room that it's labeled banned words. And so you're like, okay, what does this mean? And when you start looking at the words that he doesn't allow or says that you cannot use these words, they're non-committal words. And so that got you and I talking about some other things, just some other conversations, but because a lot of the meetings they have, they're going through a checklist. They're going through like, what is there he is right there. He's already on. And so, but when they go through their meetings and they're like, okay, have they done this? What's the date? Who's responsible? Whatever. It's like the words that are like, I'm shooting for this, or I'm hoping for this, or they're very non-committal words. And then it got my brain thinking, because you know how that works is that you're elevating excuses, you're allowing yourself to have an out, and you're minimizing accountability. And then that's where you and I went, okay, what is this? And then it kind of blew up into a bigger conversation on what are those definitive words that create accountability versus those non-committal words, those escape words that allow us to still say, yeah, we're working on it, but we don't have to feel bad if it doesn't happen. So that in a nutshell, those are the things that we thought it would be a really good conversation.
Yeah. And I was excited because it's like, I recognize that in like the workspace, right? At work, the job site, etc. But for me, I know that the words I use in the world that I'm creating absolutely transform the outcome, right?
Yes.
And we're going to get into that. So, and you and I've had these conversations just when you and I are coordinating. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a yes.
That sounds like
right? Like, what the hell? Like, was that a request or was it a review? I don't know.
I'm telling you, you're really good on what I just heard was, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I was saying, and I'm like, okay, Jay, that's my fault. That's not his fault.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, so we're gonna get to tease it apart.
Okay,
we already got people coming in on the comment.
Come on.
So LinkedIn user, we can't see you, but we know you're coming in from San Antonio with the little cowboy in there. Thank you. And so everybody knows we already got 5 entries. Every comment you make in the chat gets you into the randomizer, which means at the top of the hour, we're going to do the randomizer. And if your name gets selected, you will get free entry into the emotional bungee jumper for 1 session for emotional bungee jumpers and cultivation crew. And if you're a repeat offender, you can gift it to somebody, which we've had that done also. So, oh, look at this. Miss
Kirby, good
Kirby.
morning.
How are you, Kirby? Good morning, sister. And you already called out Mr. Josh, who's probably, what should we say, guilty by association, because this is his,
Yes. He
his
gets
deal.
sucked in whether he wants to or not.
Yeah. And then we got my buddy, Dan Tom. What's up, Dan? Oh, you know what? Let me say, Dan. Dan, thank you. And felon's not a bad word, and I'm proof, right? Because I'm here, and the internet didn't shut down. But that's a good one. So, Dan, I think it's the first time he's commented on the live stream. I don't know. But Jen, can you walk us through?
Yes. Okay. So if you are joining for the first time, never seen our faces before, or you've been on and you've been listening to us, but today's the first time that you're actually typing and putting a comment in, letting us know you're there, we ask you to put a blue heart in the comment. So you can right click and go to emoji and put a blue heart. You can type blue heart. You can put a blue anything, I think, and we'll probably figure it out. But what the blue hearts do is, one, it signifies to all the people that are joining us today that we have a new member. We have a new tribe member, and they will connect with you. They will join and kind of make sure that you know kind of who people are, and they'll follow you. They'll engage with your content. So because we are a community, and we love that when we can connect with other people. But it also allows Jesse and I to make sure that we're calling you out and we're giving you some support so that you can continue to contribute.
Yeah. So y'all already know Dan. Go hit him up, Dan, my brother. Appreciate you. I got to meet Dan when he first came into San Antonio. We're working at Heart Hospital here in San Antonio. Lots of stories. He's got a lot of dirt on me. So if you want some, hit Dan up. He can give it to you. Miss Sarah Ganella, didn't you hang out? Didn't y'all have some
Yes. So if you have not, yesterday morning I got to spend some time with Sarah on Boy Bass with her platform, and it was an amazing conversation, and it was awesome. And and I know she does live stream, so you can go back and just click it and watch it. And we got to talk a lot about facilitation and talked a lot about just heart-centered leadership. And Josh may have gotten a call out on that one too. I'm just going to say.
Love it. Bring out your badass self. Have a badass morning. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
Then we got the chief marketeer, Steve Morton, coming in. He says they're waiting for snow and ice, but he's warm and cozy. Hearing Jennifer use hashtag hearts. All right. And Jim said did something similar. Oh, he had a board up also that called out the wall of lies. It probably had my picture in the background. Anytime a team member said something that the team did not believe, it was up there.
The level right there. It's like, nope.
Nope, negative, fake news. I like it. And this one here is Mr. Nick Clemens coming in from Illinois.
Good morning.
All right. Mr. Ernest. What's up, Ernest? He's in San Antonio. That's my brother. And then Josh Wallace coming in from YouTube.
Yeah, we got to hang out with him a little bit yesterday. So yes, he's in Dallas for the weekend. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. All right. So we're going to talk about this definitive versus non-committal language. Folks out there, lurkers, we love you too.
Yes.
And, just a little incentive. You make a comment in the chat, you'll get thrown in the randomizer. If not, stick around, watch, share your insights and stuff. And we're going to be talking about definitive versus non-committal language. Jen, thank you for sending me the agenda and pre-approving the agenda and showing up to the pre-meeting of the pre-meeting of the pre-meeting in preparation.
Shorter, Jesse. It's to the point now where early on, I was like, Jesse, where's the link? I got to make sure, where's all the stuff? And now Jesse sends everything. And then 5 minutes later, Jen, did you get the link? Now I'm like, it's going to be fine. We'll jump on. We'll figure it out. So you're the one that's created this monster.
Yeah. It takes what it takes, right? That's the magic of it.
Yes.
So I want to throw this question out to the Omniverse, so we can kind of get their thoughts, and I think it'll help you and I kick off this conversation. So the question to the Omniverse is, what words that people use set off your spidey senses. And kind of like James's example, right? The wall of lies. What are the words that like, oh, there's something there. I need to either like cast judgment or look deeper into. Throw them in the chat, because I think it'll help people like say, oh yeah, I hear that too. Or I'm going to say this, think about, do you use these words? Because this is really more about maintaining the power and the control to drive the outcomes you want. And I am a firm believer that it starts with the words that I use. So anyways, what words set off y'all spidey senses? And Jen, I know you have a list, so what you got?
Well, there's two words. One that drives me crazy when I hear it, and then one that I have learned over time. It was like a word I used to protect me, and I have been intentional to make sure that I have tried to eliminate that word from my vocabulary. So I'll talk about both. Is that good? Is that good?
Yeah, come on.
So the word that I like drives me crazy when people use it is the word sure. And so think about that word. If you ask a question, are you good with this? What about this? You know, I mean, like, just the word sure. And my kids use it like in texting and things like that. And I don't know what it is about the word, but it does nothing other than, I think it's the same as okay. It's just like, what is it? Like if I'm asking a question, or is that, do you, whatever it is, and the response is sure. Like, Are you excited? Are you pissed? Are you like, what is it that I need more than sure? And so when I hear that word, I have to like take a breath and go, let me ask a follow-up question, because obviously I'm not getting what I need, because it gives me nothing. In fact, I feel like it's an escape word. It's when people don't want to do what I want to do, or they don't agree with me, but they don't want to fight me. They just go, sure.
Yeah.
So there's that word. So you can tell me your feedback on that. The word that I used to use a lot, and I have to catch myself, is the word busy.
Ooh. Okay.
So for me, I think I was early on. Like, to be busy means you're being productive and you're doing things and you're bringing value. Like, that's how our brain puts things together. When we're busy and we're active and we're doing things, then we're providing value. But I started realizing that I was using the word busy to be able to justify things. Whether I justified not getting something done, or I didn't have time for something, or, hey, I've got a lot going on. I can't commit the time for, like, I was using it as an excuse instead of it being like, I have these 3 things going on. Which of these would you like to fall off so that I can take care of your thing? Like, that's very definitive. Instead of, I'm busy, I've got a lot going on, I'll see what I can do, or I'll try to get through it. And so, and it was almost a protection for me to be able to go, I kind of had it out to go, I got a lot on my plate. I'm really busy right now. But what I saw happen was, because people were hearing that from me, then they would, when they would come to talk to you, I know you got a lot going on, but if you really quick, can I ask you a question? Or, hey, I know you're super busy, but I really need, I need. And so they would like get to this point to where they were rushed every time they tried to have a conversation with me. Of this perception of Jennifer's all over the place, nonstop. I don't have time. And you know me, like, people are important to me, and conversations are important to me, and someone knowing I'm listening to them is important to me. And if that is what I believe in my heart, that persona is opposite of what I'm trying to convey. And I had to be super intentional in, like, when I'm in my words, that's an easy word, but there's a better way to say it. And so I have been practicing doing better at, if someone asks me for something, busy cannot be a word that comes out of my mouth. What about you?
Well, hold on. Like, mine are easy. But my question, in terms of this busy thing, like, It's a default. There's nothing wrong with it, right? It's not malicious at all. Neutral, passive word, right? Like that's it. You're not rejecting anybody.
Yeah.
You're not saying yes. What helped you? What was it that helped you say, wait a minute, this word is betraying me. My use of this word. How did you get to the point to say, man, I need to stop using that word?
There were a couple things. One is you calling me out on it a couple times.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, I would say it and you're like, okay, Jennifer, like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, are you at capacity? Do you have too much on your plate? Are you right now struggling with time management? Are you trying, like, are you not saying no? Like there's a lot of reasons someone could be busy, but busyness does not equate to productivity.
Oh, hell no. Right.
Does not, I mean, activity itself does not equate to productivity. And I think that the more you and I talk, because we talk a lot about these type of things, the more I realize that I could be busy all day. What was the result and the outcome that I was going to be able to deliver? And as I started digging into, I'm busy right now because I'm working on these things. Absolutely truth.
Right.
But in the end of the day, what did I produce? What is it that I did? And if it's just, I'm in meetings from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock, nonstop, back-to-back meetings, I'm busy. And at the end of that, I have no value I've produced, but sitting in on a Zoom call and maybe contributing a comment or whatever. So then it got me obviously digging in more. Okay, my busyness is sitting in on a Zoom call for 4 or 5 hours. Jennifer, like, is that where I need to put my time? Or do I need to be able to say, no, I can't be there? Or, what am I contributing to this? So it got me doing a lot of self-reflection on where am I putting my time and where can I provide the most value?
Okay.
Can I answer it?
Yeah. No, that's super helpful because, and the reason I wanted to go there is so that like the folks out there in the Omniverse, like Mr. Brian McLean coming in from San Diego, has been here before. Welcome back, my friend. Glad to have you. But the reason I wanted to go there is like so that people can self-reflect. The folks out there, the tribe out there in the Omniverse can say like, oh, it doesn't have to be like there's this list of words that you need to stop using. It's a impersonal inventory about, hey, I'm using this and it's these outcomes I have. What's contributing to that? And the busy, like you, when you say I'm busy, I'm like, okay, that sounds great, but does that mean hell no, you're not going to do the thing? Or does that mean yes, you're going to do the thing? I know you're busy, but it's not clear to me. And because I'm like pretty dense, I have to ask that question because I'm not going to fill in the gap.
Right.
Or like, I don't really understand how to fill in the gap. And it's a coin flip. And so it's an important thing. Now, Miss Sarah Ganella, she's having problems on LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn is glitchy, I am going to try to put a link here to the YouTube channel or Facebook. We're also live streaming on Facebook I don't even know which one it is, but anyways, so I just posted the YouTube link. If you're coming in, if you're having some glitchiness on the LinkedIn. Anyways, oh my God, look, another repeat offender.
Yes.
Oh, she's gonna love this topic. So Sarah also said, she's like, I even respond with it. Sure. I simply send sure to me. It means I don't really care, but you do, and I'm good with it.
So just say I don't care. Just say I don't care.
Like, well, and so that's the interesting thing, right? Go.
No. I mean, like, for me, that's what I feel. When someone says sure, I don't care. So like, okay, but sure also makes you not have to say I don't care. And so and it gives you that, okay, I'm being nice, but I really don't give a crap about this. Then just say I don't care.
Yes. Right. But and so like that's the interesting thing, right? I send sure because I really don't care. Like there's the deeper meaning behind it. Like for me, my rationalization, if I was in Sarah's shoes, would be because it's fewer clicks and I'm trying to save clicks. right? Same message. But I completely understand. It's like, okay, are you like freaking jellyfish? Tell me what the hell you got to say.
Yes.
So my words, there's two that really like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention. The first one is should. Every time I hear and because I get to work with a lot of influential people that have like heavy responsibility, and like usually when we're having those early conversations, I hear a lot like they're irritated with the business results, they're irritated with the team, they're irritated with the direct report, and they're saying, well, they should have known, they should do this, this is what should happen, wah wah wah, and I'm like, oh, because I know based on examination of my own language, every time I use the word should, it's because I either didn't secure a commitment or I didn't communicate my expectations, right? Like, you should know, Jen, that I don't like the word sure. Or you should know, Sarah, that Jen doesn't like the word sure. Like, no, until Jen lets you know that sure's like not a cool word. Oh, I like this. We're doing the text battle. And then Jen says, yeah, well, you could hashtag I don't care, IDC. I love it. Oh, look at this. Steve stirring the pot. He says, fine, I don't care. Jen, sure. Yes. So, yes, don't should on yourself, right? I think I stole that one from Miss Angel Lavecchio, the curious idealist, is we shouldn't should on people. And so, again, it's just that word. When I hear should, they should have, he should have, I should have, you should, like, that's not what should have happened. I'm like, oh, I'm not saying it's 100% of the time, but it's a high frequency where people are saying should, or when I'm saying should, it's like, oh, maybe I didn't secure a commitment, or maybe I didn't communicate my expectations. And so it's just one of those things. And that's a bigger onion on helping people understand, like, what does communicating expectations look like? And what does securing a commitment look like? Like, and I'll tell you right now what it doesn't look like. Sending an email or telling somebody that they need to do something does not qualify as securing a commitment. The only thing that qualifies as is sending words. That's all you did. No commitment was secured. And so there's different level. Anyways, so that's the first word, should. Mm-hmm. The second word that my spidey senses go off is try. And, I used to be real hard on people about try. There is no try. There's only do or do not, right? Like, that was, because I believe, like, I know 100% that's 100% true. But for me, like, that's the word that takes me a lot of energy to get out of my vocabulary to use for me. And so I'll use words like I'm working hard at, I'm putting effort into, because that's actually what I'm doing. Because when I say try, and I've used it, like don't get me wrong, y'all, like, I'm an expert liar and manipulator. And so when I say try, it most of the time was on purpose, which means it's a wiggle lizard slimy word that I can say, I told you I would try, it just didn't work out. And so it's an exit strategy for me to ward off being accountable to a commitment. Because if I try, winning is what? Trying.
Yes.
But if I make a commitment and say, yes, I will, it's clear what winning and losing looks like, or good or bad looks like. What do you think, Jen?
No, 100%. And try is another word that, I mean, it's not one of the top ones, but it's one that I know. And because obviously I reply back onto a lot, and I type the word try and then delete it. Because as soon as I type it, I go, Jennifer, you are right now covering your butt. That's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. When you use that word, you are covering your butt. I'm going to try to be there. If I don't make it, it didn't work out. I had another conflict. I am giving myself an out and an excuse before I ever put any effort into it.
Preemptive. Yeah. And so for me, again, like that's the thing for me is I am preemptively surrendering to failure.
Yes.
Right? Like now, I'm not saying when somebody says try, I think they're already saying they're failing. No. Like that's your decision to make for you. For me, I am preemptively surrendering to failure when I say try. And it's like, no. I'm going to apply effort, which is very close to try. But what it means is I am going to continue to PDCA, incremental change, to get the damn outcome that I want. And if I find out that I can't achieve it, guess what? I decide that is no longer a goal that I'm going to pursue. It is outside of my wheelhouse, and I am going to surrender to the failure and move on.
Yes.
Is that too hard, Jen?
No, Jesse, it's like the I don't care. Like instead of telling me, sure, say I don't care. Instead of telling me I'll try, say I can't make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you convinced her. She says, okay, I will use that. Yeah. So she's starting to catch herself when she's saying should. I love that. Sarah doesn't feel like she uses try, but she's noticed I use it for others. Oh, make excuses for others. So let's go back to that.
Yes.
Thank you, Sarah. That's huge. So there's a question to the Omniverse. What language do you use that gives people a little more flexibility, where you give them excuses to, flounder and meander? Is that a thing, or like, is it even a thing for you? So what do you think about that, Jen? Like,
well, I do it mainly because I was reading something today, but I protect people, and I'm going to own that. And sometimes that's great because people need that buffer. They need that person in between that's going to take care of things. And so I will protect people to not let everything hit somebody full speed. But it also in that mix is I am protecting them, and I probably am hurting the situation because they're working on it. I've used those words to protect someone from maybe someone's like, this isn't done. Why isn't this done? Blah, 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 blah. I know that they are working on it because I met with them earlier today. Like I've used those words, and you saying that right there, I'm like, yes, I'm protecting that person from the brunt of it, but I also am not helping them get it across the finish line. And so, I mean, to me, that's something that I do. Just because you just said that, it made my brain just realize that in my mind, I'm doing it to help them so that they can have time to get it done, but it doesn't secure anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, 100%. And which is interesting because I think this is super generalization, but I feel like there's two sides to the coin. Mm-hmm. There's one side where we make space for people to flounder, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just using that language. Like I'm making excuses for them. I'm protecting them because I'm one of those. Like I want to protect my people. If you're my people, I'm gonna protect your ass.
Yes.
And I'm gonna burn your ass back. Anyways, but there's the other side that is always like, rather, I'll say it this way. One bucket is we are high accountable people. We hold ourselves to a level of expectation that we don't hold other people to. Like I hold myself to this level of performance and communication, but I'll give people space to meander around down here.
Yes.
The other side is people that hold themselves to this level of expectation personally, but they expect this level of performance and behavior from their people, which those people, they are not my people.
Yeah.
Right. And they're pretty good at saying, you're failing. You're not meeting expectations, underperforming. You're not doing this. Like, okay. And you're a freaking scrub too. So piss off. Like you're contributing to the damn problem. Yes. And we talked about this before we started the conversation, like the bad word list of try and I'm working on it and I hope to, or that's the goal. Like these kind of jellyfish, wishy-washy escape routes. I understand that. And when I'm going to use definitive language and I bring valid constraints to the table and you ignore them, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like I am working to get it done on Friday. I need these things. My commitment to get it done on Friday is contingent on these things. That's definitive language.
Yep.
Now, some people will say, okay, we're going to work on that. We're going to clear it. All right. You will get more committal language from me.
Yep.
Some people, and I'm going to say the majority of people will say, I don't want your excuses. Like, come on, bro. What game are we playing here? You want me to be, I'm going to be accountable. Your ass needs to be accountable too. And so I put that out there so that people can really think like, okay, when people are using non-committal language, why? Maybe it's because it's their habit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of you.
Well, I have a great example of in my mind when someone is struggling, when they are really struggling, and it's not hard for us to observe someone that they're not doing it intentionally to cause harm, or they're not doing it, they're struggling. Yep. And we could like let them flounder and we can let them figure it out. We could also, push them and tell them, you know what, I don't need that. I don't need your excuses. I need your solutions. Like we've heard those things, but mentally, and Jesse, I'm going to use a very simple one is we were somewhere, you and I, and we were in a line to order tacos.
Oh yeah.
I mean, literally, it was something that simple, and it was not. I was literally, because of my brain and whatever was going on in my head. I'm looking at the taco board. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at you, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do right now. Like I right now I cannot process all of this going on in front of me, and an easy answer is, Jennifer, get your crap together. Like, just order the freaking food. It's not hard. You've done it before. Like, this should not be that difficult. How many times do we say that in any situation? Versus, it's obvious you're right now not in a place to do this. Let me take care of it.
Yes.
So to me, it's simple, and it's like it's not at the job site, but it's a very similar situation where sometimes people are struggling.
Yes. I love that. And so what's the answer? The answer is freaking help.
Yes.
Freaking support. Like, I mean, for real, people that come into my world, I know that I'm an obsessive maniac about things. I can't expect them just to be as obsessive and maniacal about the things that I am on day one. And so if it is necessary that we get some alignment on certain behaviors and certain language, it's my job to help them get there. Like, that's being a leader. Mm-hmm. It's not okay. Rather, I don't give myself the wiggle room to say, you know what, you need to go out there and figure out how to interact and communicate with me. Where the hell are they going to get that from?
Right.
It's not okay for me to say, you know what, you need to go find a solution to the problem that you're bringing to me. Do they even have the problem solving skills? No, like, come on, bro. So it's like, okay, I can help you with developing some frameworks to come up with proposals, solutions, and ideas, or countermeasures and ideas to the problem. And then next time, instead of bringing me the problem, you'll bring me some proposals, some options, right? Yes. Or a little more intel. And then gradually I'm going to get you there. But just playing that, easy button, that's freaking weak sauce. Like, yes. I would put that on the bad word list. Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. Like, freaking weak sauce, bro. And now if you're my direct report and I've invested the necessary energy and hooked you up with the appropriate resources to build the skill, and you're still not there,
yeah,
I'm not going to, my job is to put you in another seat or release you to the industry.
Yeah.
It's not okay for me to say, well, I've given you everything you need now and you just need to get better. Like if it's not working, they maybe they need to move on. Is that harsh? Probably, but that's the game we're playing.
Yeah.
Look, we got some people.
Tell me. No, tell me. Who do we have?
Trisha, she says good morning, who was on the do the damn thing time management workshop. We got one coming up in March. Woo-hoo. And then we got Jerry. So Jerry is my buddy.
Okay.
He's cooking up some awesome community experience right now. And Jerry says sometimes we're too hard on ourselves, which stumps our growth because we quickly talk ourselves out of great opportunities that can make us better humans and lead to explosive growth. So thank you, Jerry. Like he came in swinging, huh? So what is that like the internal talk? Like we're kind of on the verge of woo-woo, but for real, we have this talk in our head that will talk us out of good opportunities and good ideas. And Jen, you and I introduced you to the no, yes, but, yes, and exercise.
Yep.
How is that relative? How close connected is that to Jerry's comment about us talking ourselves out of things that'll help us grow?
Jesse, yes. So yes, I use this exercise, and I'll talk through it really quick. I use this exercise in every new hire class I do. A lot of times on stage when I'm presenting, I'll use this exercise because of how it can stop or it can help progress. And so the exercise is, we're planning a party, and Jesse, you and I are planning a party, and the only response you can give me after, I respond and then you're adding to the, what's next. The only thing you can say is no. And then, but something else. So that's what it is. So we're planning a party, Jesse. What's the first thing we need to do at the party? And then what your response is, what?
Bake cookies.
Okay. Bake cookies. No, but I think we need a cake.
Ooh.
And then, right. And then you go, this no, but. And at the end, I'm like, so great. What decisions did we make? How great is this party going to be? And we're going to be like, we've done nothing. Same exercise. Yes, but. So I say, Jesse, we're planning a party, and what's the theme of the party? And you say, whatever. What is your, huh?
It's purple.
Purple. Yes, but I don't like purple. So again, what decisions have we made? How great is this party going to be? Versus the words yes and. All it does is it continues the conversation and acknowledges the person that spoke. That will encourage them to keep talking. So so all you can say is yes and. So the response is, Jesse, we're planning a party. What venue do you think we should have?
Oh, the river.
The river, yes, and maybe we can also have a boat. So it just continues it, and you just felt validated because you had an idea, and then we're going to continue to talk, and at the end, we're going to have all these ideas. We may not use them all, but it's just a tiny word that I'm talking about at the stand-up boards when you're doing your daily huddles, your weekly work plans, and someone says, "I can't get this done," or I need this. Yes, but we gave you that last week. Okay, that's great. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Versus yes, and I think there was a constraint, and so now we're going to make sure you have that today. What else? It absolutely changes the conversations.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Jen. Because Jerry, thank you for triggering that comment or that line of thinking, because it's like we are hard on ourselves and we do talk ourselves out of things. And it's the yes and framework of like, yeah, it's going to suck and it could be awesome, right? Yes, it's going to take a lot of time and I can serve a lot of people on the back end of it. So it's the yes and that like, that's just the world I've wrote. Like, y'all know I'm crazy, right? Like, and it's going to cost a lot of money and it could be great. Let's go find out. And that gives me like the space to explore and try stuff. And so I want to, folks, if you're just kind of rolling in now, Miss Tanya, thank you, Tanya. How you doing, my sister, San Antonio? She says, to sum up, if you're just hopping on, Today is about finding dignity one step at a time by fully committing and seeing things through to the finish line. What do you think about that? That's pretty damn powerful, right?
Yeah, it's
Commitment.
commitment.
Words in there.
Right, commitment. Making a commitment, and we keep ourselves from making the commitments because then we don't have to feel bad when we don't accomplish it.
Yeah.
So protecting ourselves, our egos, our progress, our credibility. We're protecting it by not making it.
Well, and I think I'm not going to make this assessment for everybody else. This is for me. All of that wishy-washy jellyfish language is only for my own benefit. It's so that my little feelers, my delicate feelers, don't get hurt, so that my self-image doesn't get bruised, right? So that my batting average doesn't drop, because I said, no, I didn't say I was going to do that. I said I would try.
Yep.
Right? Like, you know how many times I've done that? Chingos of times. Because then I could say, no, I didn't say. I said, sure. All right. Miss Elizabeth Ponce, award winner.
Pillar Award. She just won her Pillar Award this week. So congratulations, Elizabeth.
What's the Pillar Award?
It's with the Regional Hispanic Contractors, the organization here. That's their annual awards, and yes, and so her organization won an award.
Wow! Hell yeah!
Also, our other Yesenia won Executive of the Year.
No,
yes, another tribe. Yes,
the tribe is killing it. Yes, man. Okay, so Elizabeth says, you just triggered me to go back and analyze my. So we want. That's the goal. One person to go back and analyze my vocabulary. I get used to the way I speak, that I take it for granted how I come across. Yes, Elizabeth, thank you, sister, because that's it. This is not a judgment. This is a call to analyze, to have do a personal inventory in the language that you use, because I believe that that's where my power starts.
Yes.
Like, meaning I either have it or I start giving it away in the words that I'm using to conduct, like, my messaging and commitments and all of that stuff. Yes. Look, Sarah says, yes, and I am reflecting right now. Sure you are, Sarah. I'm joking. So I'm gonna pose this question to the tribe, and also I want to remind you, we got 18 entries right now in the randomizer. And so if you've been hopping along and you want to get in the randomizer, make sure you leave a comment, drop some emojis or whatever in the chat, and that'll get your name in the randomizer, which gets you a pass, 1 month pass to the Cultivation Crew and Emotional Bungee Jumpers.
Yes.
And so here is the question I want people to chew on right now. And then we have some really good comments that I'm going to go back to. So the question is this: is there language? Sure, there's actions and activities and decisions and all of those things that make shit happen. But is there language that helps you achieve the outcomes you want, that gets you on the path to making that happen? I have my answer. I want to know what the tribe thinks, and what that language is, so the rest of us can, like, steal from it. And while y'all are responding to that, I want to bring this up. Ernest, I think this is a valid point. Ernest says, sure is like a no response. Correct. Not the response we want, but a response nonetheless. So he's saying sure is still a response, and we must provide our own closure at some point. Right? And so for me, yes. Now here's the thing. If sure was a problem for me, like, I will just straight ask, like, wait a minute, was that a yes or a no?
Right.
Right? Like, okay, you said sure, like, was that a yes or, like, we'll just rope, like, if it was me and Sarah, she says sure, I'm gonna say, okay, is that a yes or a no? And she's probably gonna say, I don't care. Like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gone. Right? Like, I just need the clarity. In your case, you've told me, like, Jesse, I hate the word sure. Tell me what the hell. Oh, okay, cool. And so I think I agree with you, Ernest, in that we have to come up, like, with our own closure. And yes, and I'll add that when we get clear, that helps us get there, right? So if you're a sure responder and like that's your response, I get it. I may like sever conversation with somebody that's wishy-washy because I never get the end, like I never get clarity from them, which is easy. Or I may say, what the hell does that mean? Is that a yes or a no? Are you in or are you out? Right? Like, what's the deal? And that's my way of getting closure, which I know rather has been abrasive and comes across as like aggressive to people. What do you think about that, Jen?
Well, I think you get a pass. So like you right now, I'm voicing very much how I dislike that word. And if you give me that word, I will create some clarification. If you give me that word again, I'm not going to put the effort into trying to understand what you mean. I'm just going to understand that I don't like it and you're still using it. So I'm just letting you know, like I'm not going to all of a sudden assume that you're trying to push my buttons. So I will make sure that it is very clear what it does. And if you continue to do it, then you are just choosing to push my buttons. And I'm just going to not.
Well, and so that's beautiful because here's the thing. Oh, that's so great. Here's the thing. Like you just said, you're going to assume that I'm choosing to irritate you by using that word.
Yeah. And
that's the problem, right? The problem is the word sure for you leaves room for interpretation. I could argue that that's not fair, Jen. Why would you do that? Well, because I wasn't clear. I left room for you to fill in all the white space with whatever you want to fill it in with. And you did. And so do I get to be mad at you for like just doing that? Well, no, because my wishy-washy language created the conditions for you to fill in the gaps with assumptions and erode the connection and the relationship that we have. What is that like fancy or what?
Yes.
Oh, look, here's the
and shoulds in there, but yes.
Right, like be clear, man. Mr. Christopher White, what's up, Chris? He says, my kids, when I say we'll see, is a soft no.
Okay, so one, awesome, Christopher. Thank you for saying that because I've learned that when my kids ask for something, and I love this comment, when I say maybe, they're like, oh, that's probably going to be a yes. They say that to me. Even though in my mind, when I say maybe, it's probably I'm just trying to get out of the conversation at that moment because I'm not ready to make a commitment. Whatever it is that my track record on the word maybe, obviously in their minds, like, okay, Bella, just stop talking to her because this will probably happen. Like they literally have had this. They say that with me standing there. They're just like, let's just stop. We're not going to push it anymore. We're just going to let. And so I love that he says this because like I've learned. I haven't learned it. They've learned it. That when I use a word, what it ends up being.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, let's go a little deeper. I'm going to pick at this one. So again, folks, if there's any language that helps you achieve the outcomes you want, let us know because I know for me there is. Heather says, we all experience decision fatigue, so it's easier to use these words than to think through and commit to things. We don't want to think through what it will actually take to achieve a yes or a no. No is not an option, so we use these words. What do you think about that, Jen?
Hashtag taco mode. I'm just going to say, but I think that yes, and we could be clear that I'm not in a place right now to make a decision. Give me till tomorrow morning and then I will get back to you. Like we could easily respond in a way that, yes, that is absolutely true. And we are still not making non-committal words, using non-committal words.
Yeah. And I agree. And the what my observation of people and myself is by not using definitive language. And I don't mean yes or no, right? There's yes, no, conditional, and piss off, right? Like there's a lot of responses that are definitive. Not now, right? And so it's not yes or no. It doesn't have to be a yes or no. It can be tomorrow. It can be there's some other things that need to happen before I can actually commit. So it's conditional, right? It can be delayed. It can't, like, there's a lot of different things that are definitive in terms of right now. Now, what I have observed of people that are like, yeah, sure, I think, like, okay, I'll try. It adds to the decision fatigue. It adds static because now you have all these open loops in your brain because you're not saying yes or no or later, that it continues to popcorn and fry and frazzle and that enhances the experience, rather worsens the experience of decision fatigue because you haven't made any commitments anywhere, one way or the other. Does that make sense, Jen?
Yes, it does. By not making decisions and at least not being clear on what the next step is on the decision, you are literally creating more white noise and more chaos in your head. Even though you have so much in your head, you can't make the decision. Like, yes, all of that makes complete sense to me.
I love, and because you and I've had the conversation, right? I'm like, just say no.
Yes.
Right. Or rather, I'll say this for me. Like, it's very easy. One, because of my miraculous planning system, I understand what my bandwidth is in the next 3 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. I know that I am going to be available. Like, I've designed my schedule, my plan, so that I can be of service to my people in the short term. You call me, you need something, you want to talk through something, within a day or two, we can have that conversation. My schedule is also not designed to pick up a brand new project, which is counterintuitive because when people invite me to collaborate on something and this new idea and build it out, I'm like, yeah, we could do that in like July. Like, oh my God, you're so busy. The same person can then call me, like, say, or send me a text like, hey, Jess, I'm stuck on this thing. Like, cool, let's jump on a call right now. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you weren't busy enough. It's not that. I'm ultra clear about what I will do, what I'm optimizing for, and what I can't do right now, which helps me say definitively, yes, no, or later, or under these conditions. I've done this with you, right? Like, hey, I'll do that if you make a commitment to do these things, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then let's make it happen. And so back to the whole thing. I just know from my experience in working with people, like me personally, and then observing other people, is when you create all those open loops, it's a recipe for freaking taco mode, which you kind of gave the backstory to that earlier. What did I miss, Jennifer Lacey?
No, I just want to add, I know for me, the time I spent trying to make it work is just as hard as me keeping these loops open for, okay, maybe what if I could, whatever. If I'm like, okay, I got to be here, but if I get a flight here and then I can go here and I can maybe make that me, like, literally the time it takes for me to try to make it work because I want to do it, even though I'm not definitive on I can't do it, is just as bad. Like, as soon as someone asks for something and I look at my calendar and I'm like, I mean, I already have a commitment, but if it's that important, then maybe I'm spending so much time trying to analyze it. And I've learned that I'm getting better at it, but I'm not great at it, is I have a commitment. I'm not going to be able to do that. I can get on a call with you and we can walk through what that is. And I'm happy to help you prep. It opened up so much space and capacity, because I'm still contributing. I'm just not trying to manipulate and work it out when it really isn't feasible.
Yes. And I'm going to say, like, folks, the takeaway for that is, like, you don't have to, rather, it goes back to clarity, right? These, in your situation, people are asking for your insight, your experience, your wisdom, all your greatness. Your automatic default is, how do I get there in person to deliver that?
Yes.
That's not the only way to provide it.
Correct.
Right? So it's like, what's the default? For me, this, like, next week, after tomorrow, next week's going to be planned Monday through Friday. So when people have something, my automatic answer is no. Can we do it next week? Why? Because I already planned out this week. Is there space on my calendar? Yeah. But I don't want to go through the mental gymnastics of and having back-to-back calls and, all of that freaking mess. My default is, can we do that next week? Now, if it's a client asking for a proposal, you bet your ass I'm going to make that thing happen. Like, yes, yeah. I will put that and get that to you today. And my point is this, is like, maybe I don't have a yes or a no, but I have a method in place to where it says, I will think about that and I can give you an answer in 3 or 4 days down the road. And I'll say a specific date. Same thing on my phone. When somebody's like, hey man, what are you doing in April? I want to plan this thing. I'm like, I got to get back to my laptop. I can't answer that right now. Technically I could, but my batting average says when I am not looking at my calendar at my laptop, which gives me a bigger, broader perspective of what I've got going on, I will overcommit when I'm just looking at my phone.
Me too.
So you're right. Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No.
It's like, hey, this is something I'm interested in. I can't give you that answer right now. I will be back at my computer later on today. I will look at my calendar, and then I will give you an answer. And I've even had people like, does your phone not have a calendar app? It's like, oh yeah, it does. But I always overlook things and I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter. I just know I will give you a definitive answer in a couple of hours or tomorrow or whatever that is. So
okay, I have a question. Wait. I have a question for you. So I want you to give a little more detail, dig in a little bit more. So Jesse, you and I have had some conversations around getting clear on the ask. So a baseline is Jesse loves to leave voicemails. I do not leave voicemails. So when I call him, I've called him. It could be super important and like I need him right now to help me through something, or hey, I've got this idea. Call. Like it could be either of those things. I usually don't leave voicemails. Jesse always leaves voicemails, and they could be relevant or not. It doesn't matter. So sometimes, and I'll tag Jesse in things sometimes, or I'll go, oh, Jesse, here's an introduction. I want you to meet this person. Are we clear on the ask? So when I bring Jesse into an introduction, or when I tag him on something, are we clear on, hey, I need you to come and meet this person because they own a trade partner organization, and that is really your passion. And I know there's an opportunity here for you to make some money. Like, are we clear on our ask? Or Jesse, I need you to show up here because I got somebody I want you to meet. Can you dig a little bit into, and to me, it goes back to our voicemails too. I can't have an expectation of why did Jesse not pick up the phone? Why did he not call me back? It's been 2 hours. I can't have that expectation if I am not clear on the ask. Can you talk to that?
Yeah. And so I'm looking, oh man, we got massive comments in here. Okay. Hang on. So yes, I will answer the question. And here's the thing. Daryl, what's up, Daryl? He just got 12 inches of snow up in Canada, international superstar. But here's why. Like for real. Bandwidth is the true value. Having space to adjust and be agile and be flexible and blah, blah, blah. That's the game for me. I'm not going to pack everything in. Now, back to your question. The way I create bandwidth is by not filling in the gray space for people.
Yes.
So, right? Like that's energy. I'm just, what the hell was that, Jen? Like, yeah. You tag me on a post. That's a good example, right? You'll tag me on a post and I'll see it. And I'm like, okay, I got tagged on a post. I'm done. Like I'm out. Like, because I could say, hey, Jen, what did that mean? What did you like? No, like what? I do have the time and energy to fill in the gaps. Or I can use that time and energy to maintain my bandwidth to do other things and make decisions about things. Yes. And so that's kind of the answer, right? The other thing is, you and I've had this a bunch of times, is you'll make a statement. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I think like I kind of sense there's a request there, but the words didn't say, Jesse, will you?
Yes.
Or like you said, you'll call. If you don't text me, like, because I know you're not going to leave a voicemail. So if I don't get anything from you, okay, I'm busy and we'll connect later.
Yeah.
But when you really need like short, like right now, full, you tell like, oh, okay, she needs the call right now. So we'll use that example because I think that's a good one that everybody kind of experiences. And this is maybe lazy, maybe it's shitty. If you call me and don't leave a voicemail, the likelihood that I'm going to call you back is this big. Because in my brain, I have decided that whatever issue you had has gone away, you've resolved it. You leave me a voicemail, I'm going to check the voicemail and I will call back. If you text me, I will say, okay, they want me to call them back. That's another way. Like, again, it's a little maybe rude. Some people have told me like, that's pretty damn rude. I'm like, you know how many freaking calls I get from the insurance and freaking Geico and warranty? Like, I don't call everybody back and I need my bandwidth. So I'm not going to fill it in with all these other things. I'm just going to say, okay, it's not important. Is it an assumption? Hell yes, it's an assumption. But it also helps with Heather's point here, which is I struggle with clarity around my priorities because my ADHD brain processes everything as a priority. It's all or nothing. I feel you, girl. And so little trick that I use, right? You see it on the wall. Like, that's not just because I want people to read something on my whiteboard. There's two big things that I give a damn about. That's kind of my filter. Invest in who you got. Do the damn thing, right? So when I'm working with people that ain't about investing in their people, I don't spend a lot of time with them. When I'm working with people that ain't about doing the damn thing, I minimize my time with them. When there's objectives, opportunities, and blah, all of that come across my plate, if they don't align with that, it's out. I know it's difficult, but my point in that is like my brain too. I want to play everywhere. I want everybody to love me. I want to be on every damn live stream I possibly can. So I need filters and systems to help me manage my energy. And that's one of them. Did I go too far on that one, Jen?
No, that's it. Sometimes I think, are we clear? And like right now we're talking about non-committal words that we hear and that people choose to do that make us mad and irritated. But are we clear on what we're asking? Are we clear on the things that we're committing to? Are we clear on what we can't commit to? What does that look like? And I think sometimes we get caught up on here's my rules for people and how they talk to me, but also what are your rules on how you say things?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, I love this. Sarah says, don't leave me a voicemail, just text me. I feel that, right? Because there's something like, oh God. Well, now like Apple, it'll transcribe the voicemail, which I love. You're like, oh, I could see that. Okay, cool. Like, let's go. I don't need to, play it back or whatever. Mm-hmm. All right. It is randomizer time, Jen. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh my God, we're going to do the randomizer. Let's see who's going to win. Let's see. All right, we got to do the sound effects. Oh, I got to press a button. Okay. Sarah again. Sarah won last time. That is so awesome. Congratulations, Sarah.
Yes.
And since Sarah is a repeat offender, meaning she is already a fierce member of the Emotional Bungee Jumpers and the Cultivation Crew, you can gift it to somebody. Folks, that wink, wink, don't tell her I said this, but if you want to like check it out and understand what the experience is about, hit her up. She might hook you up with her free pass there. Okay. 2 things. Daryl says, like from the goal, Eli Goldwright says, to optimize throughput, you need spare capacity. All right. So if you haven't read the goal, you should. It's the best. Listen, actually, I recommend getting the audiobook because it's super, super awesome. Very easy to stay with it because it's like a performance. Mm-hmm. And that kind of coming back, that I think that ties to Heather's, right? Like, I understand that our brain or whatever the circumstances are, we want to do everything. Everything's a priority. And we're also very intelligent, lean-minded people, or at least we claim to be, me for sure, that understand the principles. And the principle is, if you want to optimize throughput, you need capacity. So what does that mean? You got to pare down. And is it easy? No, it's not easy. Is it valuable? Hell yes, it's valuable. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about words and language and all this stuff. And Milo, as always, bringing the heat. Milo Franco says, committed language can be reassuring for teams. But at the end of the day, what brings results are one's actions. You can sweeten everyone's ears with words, but if your actions don't align with your narrative, I'm not committed to work with you. Gangsta! What do you think about that, Jen?
Well, I mean, that do the damn thing. Like when that, I mean, like that's what you live by. And there's been times where I've had to ask, or I'm like struggling and we talk, and then you're like, okay. And so here, like, I am committed to help you get this across the finish line. Here's what I'm expecting from you. And I've got to either go, okay, I can do that, or just, I'm not there yet. That's not important to me right now. And you can go, okay, we're clear, and I will not follow up on this with you until you're ready to do that. Like, it's to me that easy. It's being clear on the expectations, but also being clear on what the actions are for that next step. And if the person you're with cannot make those commitments, then you can create capacity by working on something else.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree 100%, Milo. Right? Like, words are words. Again, I'm a master manipulator, freaking expert level liar. And I know how to play the game of telling you what you want to hear. I even know how to behave and adjust my reaction to things so that I signal to you that I'm doing what you want me to do. And I'm still not freaking doing it. And so it was a question that we didn't get a lot of responses to. But for me, the thing that gives me power, the language that gives me power, and my actions, right, start with an idea, turn into language, turn into actions. Like, that's kind of how I see it. So the way my brain's thinking, I will, like, instead of, or for example, I finally went swimming. I'm learning how to swim because I'm going to do a freaking Ironman next year. And I don't like swimming. I suck at it. I'm really, really bad at it. Like I should just give up right now. I'm so bad at it. It's going to take so much work. Anyways, I can think, oh shit, I got to go swimming on Tuesday. Or I can choose to, like, okay, no, you get to go swimming on Tuesday in the middle of the day while other people are working and dealing with bullshit. I'm going to be in the swimming pool. Life's so hard. Suck it up. Go do the damn thing. Right. And so it's yes, it's soft until I take my ass to the pool. But I know that if I start with the thinking of I have to, and then vocalize I have to, it's very easy for me to accept a call or an invite at the time that I've already scheduled to be at the pool. Right. And so for me, it's that, like, what is the language that I use? Or maybe this is like the homework assignment, the field assignment. What are the words that you use that start setting the path for you to let yourself off the hook? This is not about checking and banging everybody else into submission.
Yes.
This is about self-reflection, right? And what are the words that you use that set the direction and set the path for you to actually get stuff done? Was that too harsh?
Not at all. And so I don't think I answered it either. So I think we went, and so I want to answer what is that for me? And so it's internal language and external language. Like, what do I do for myself, but also what do I ask? And sometimes, and when you talk about harsh, these are words that I use. So when there's an ask, or there is something that could put something on my plate, or it's something that I'm taking on, my first filter is, do I care? And please let me explain. It's not that I don't care about the person. It's not that I don't care about the outcome. It's that, is this something that I am willing to invest in? Am I passionate about it? Is it something that in the end, whatever the results are with my contribution, it will further my mission or my purpose down where I'm trying to go? Do I care? And sometimes I care about what's going on out there, but personally, if I'm involved or not, it doesn't matter. That they're going to do what they want to do. And so that's my first one when it comes to an ask of mine. And I'm going to let you know, if you have an ask of me, I will listen, and my filter internally will go, do I care? If I go and I walk out of that room and nothing changes in my life, nothing impacts me when I leave that room, I may not make the commitment to do it. So there's that part. The other part is, and I did this one time, and the feedback I got was very interesting. So I was facilitating a group of people that had just earlier in the year had rolled out a new process. So there was a process that was kind of broken. So they had a new way of doing something. And then it was the retrospective of how was it going. And I was facilitating the conversation. And it was kind of contentious of like, this person, we're trying to make things better. This person, there's too many clicks. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on. So I said, okay, stop. I said, let's just go around the room. Do you care that there's a way to improve this process? So again, internally, do I care? And then a question that I ask is, do you care? And we went around, and some people were like, it doesn't matter to me. Some people were like, yes, because this is going to make my job easier. Some were like, no, this is making it harder now, because like when you ask that question to someone and they're passionate about it, or it matters to them, you're going to get a very emotional, very, gut wrenching reaction. And they're like, well, Jennifer, we're all supposed to care because we want to get better. I hear you. But by asking the question and making them have to answer it, you're going to get real clear on where they are. And out of all the conversation we had, the feedback from that question helped us reset and create alignment on the things they care about and the things they don't care about. And then we were able to double down on the things that mattered to the people in the room. And so for me, when someone is acting weird, or like, when I'm asking Jesse something and he's just Jesse, do you care? Because if he doesn't care, then that's me. No, it's putting me in a place where like, okay, I need to just stop instead of trying to like continue to explain it and over explain it. And Jesse, and get frustrated and get upset. Jesse, do you care? And he could be like, Jennifer, I care about you. I don't care about this. And I can be like, okay, that helps me to not get super frustrated with something. And so, do I care? Put it through a filter, and then ask a room if you're in a place where you're not sure, you're not getting the feedback you want. Do they care?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's super helpful. Like, it's a good for like, what are the systems that we use to build the bandwidth, right? Mm-hmm. Filters. Do I care? Important filter. What do I care about? Invest in who you got. Do the damn thing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what are these things that we use to help us be definitive about what the hell it is? It's not a judgment of good or bad, or you don't care, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, where the hell are you? And just be there. It's okay to be there.
Yes.
Now, Ian says people don't like no. We avoid it. Instead, we do a dance. When it comes to the concept of protecting your own time, give yourself some grace, which will allow you to be the best version of yourself for others. Would people rather have a percentage of your energy or your full-on attention? Thank you. You're speaking my love. Ian. And congratulations, Ian. Ian, just big deal. I would say even like a life event, something he's been working towards for a while. So congratulations, big dog. Holy moly. Okay, shit, it's almost time. So after party, I just posted the link everywhere.
Yep.
Jump in the after party. We don't have to see your face. You could have the camera off. The links in the chats all over the place. You got to close it out, Jen.
I think I did it. I think that I care. I don't care. I care. Do you care? Like it seems harsh, and that's the thing is it seems harsh. But when we can be very clear in the things we're saying, it helps other people in what they're trying to do instead of the wishy-washy stuff. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah, good. So I'm going to close, and I'm going to use Chris's comment to close. Says sometimes we try to force folks into caring about the things we do instead of moving on, right? And so, yes, that is not great allocation of my energy. It's okay, like Ian said, for me to say no. It's okay for me to be definitive, and people decide that they don't like me and they don't want to play with me anymore. That's okay, because trying to be everything to everybody and trying to contribute into everything that I find to be or think is going to be fun and exciting and meaningful and a learning opportunity ends up creating a situation where I am involved in everything, and everything gets a little tiny baby slice of my attention. And guess what? That ends up helping them hate me even more than if I would have just said no.
correct.
So that's the deal. After party. Now you can say no to most things. You cannot say no to the after party. We're going to have the after party. The link is in the comments. We had tons of participation. Appreciate all of you for your comments. Apologize if we couldn't, like, that I didn't get to all of them. Hope this conversation was helpful. And I'm looking forward to hearing your voice on the after party. Don't forget to hit Sarah about the randomizer, and we'll see you next time.